Okay, so here it is, my fourth video. I'm gonna keep going on this culture shock rant because it's right for all these little details, different things that I've been enjoying. As differences from my homeland, and one of the big ones that I experienced I never dreamed could be so different was just going to the movie theater recently. And back home, I'm passionate about music. I love movies. I love all forms of media and entertainment. And I just recently went to that flick After Earth. One of the sad things is everything comes out much later over here. I'm just now going to be able to see Superman, which came out on the 30th of July. It was out on the 12th over in Canada. Boo-hoo for me. Great translation of that, by the way. It's like man obu Steve. Very interesting translation. Anyways, I'm losing my point. So if you go to the theater here, be prepared for a couple of differences that I was not ready for, because I was going with my good friend. He's another teacher here, and I was telling him, man, I'm excited. We're going to get to this theater, and I'm going to get to have my classic. I'm getting my large popcorn. I'm going to get my aquarium-sized drink. I'm going to get my butter on there. And he's like, whoa, let me stop you right there. What are you talking about, butter? I was like, what do you mean? What am I talking about? What are you talking about, butter? And he's like, they don't have that here. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, back home, not only do I get butter, I get butter layered. I'm not satisfied with my popcorn. Usually, if you're going to go to the movie theater and when you remove your hand from the bag, that it is not dripping with saturated fats. This is a necessity for me to be able to enjoy media. I don't know what it is. I start to shake if I don't have butter. Not that I eat a lot of it on other occasions, but at this one point, it's kind of a religious ritual for me. So that's really, really sad. If you're going to come over here and you're going to go to the movies, prepare yourself. No butter in your popcorn, unless you brought your own. I was thinking about that. Given things get desperate enough, I'll just melt down a little bit, bring it with me. That could work as well. So that's one thing. And then there's ordering. I'm, of course, a little bit intimidated because I'm learning the language slowly as it is, and I can only imagine, all the different words that I'm going to have to use to order popcorn. My God, this could be difficult, but it's not really. My friend told me it's just like they're going to have a little sheet out in front of you, so you can just point to the things you want. But if you want to be a pro about it, kore means this. So if you want to look like a pro, you don't just point at the sheet, you point and you say kore. So you're saying this, and then you point at the next thing and you say kore, kore, kore. So this. And you got all the things that you want. Hooray. So that can work for you. Second to this, though, is as much as you may come to peace. I found peace with the fact that there's going to be no butter on my popcorn. Fine. Portion sizing. That's very, very different in Japan. Even if you're somebody who likes to have a smaller portion size, beware. I don't think you're used to having it Japanese portion size, because, of course, I got the large, and I was like, no. I didn't want the small. I wanted the large, and that is the large. It's kind of sad. My aquarium drink used to be like a half liter, has gone down to like 12 portion sizes. It's very sad. Healthier for me, I suppose. Maybe I'll get, I'll turn into a fat ass and I'll just order like 2 drinks when I go. But I didn't know this. So I had a very healthy snacking experience at the theater that I was not prepared for. No butter, tiny portions. I tell you. Aside from that, going to the movie theater can kind of be a rewarding experience if you're missing back home, because when you go and you see these American Hollywood movies, they're in English and they've been translated, so you're going to be able to watch a movie and enjoy all the in-jokes that you can kind of notice some people aren't getting around you. If there's a sexual allusion or something like that, I'm there with my buddy, and this girl's talking about reading a book, Moby Dick, and it was given to her by her boyfriend or whatever, and the boyfriend says, if you're good about it, if you treat it well, you can hold on to it. And she's retelling this story to her father, and the father, Will Smith, says, hold on to what? And of course you get the illusion that he's holding on to his Johnson. And we're cracking up in the theater, me and my friend and I, and nobody else has a clue what's going on. As far as they understand, it's the literal meaning. So you're like, ha ha ha, this movie is in my language, so I can enjoy the in-jokes. Now, one final thing, not to make this a terribly long video, big difference at the end of the theater. My buddy says to me, he's like, when you're at home, do you often just leave after the credits? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of standard fare. You leave when the movie's over. I don't think anything of that, although in some situations, say you've watched a Marvel movie, it might be that there's some cool little flick at the end of the show and you're waiting through the credits to see that cool little flick, that preview of the next movie that's going to come out. So I was like, yeah, that's really the only experience I've had where I stay afterwards. And he's like, oh, so you'd be happy to leave? And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And it only dawned on me at this point that everybody in the theater is still sitting in their seats. No one has left. And so we take off, and he tells me after we get out of the theater that it's actually in Japan considered polite that you would stay for the credits afterwards as an act of respect for the creators of the film, which I'm a huge movie buff. I don't mind manners, but I find so, again, ridiculous where, like, they're not here, guys. You're not offending anyone to leave. Will Smith is still rich, and M. Night Shyamalan is still going to direct horrible movies. That's still going to happen. So I thought that was an interesting difference. I mean, I suppose I can appreciate it. They're trying to be polite, but this is just a few more times where I've seen, like, wow, it really is different here. Like, that's something I had no idea of. I'd never heard of before. Really, really interesting. So, coming to the end of this video, I've got to give you a song. I've got to recommend you a song, and this time, I'm getting wise to this. I'm getting a new camera soon. I'm going to get pro on this. I'm also going to put the link in the bottom here. So if you do one day see this video in a distant future, you can just have that link so you can check it out. And the song that I'm going to recommend is one that I just heard in a movie trailer, and I'm sad to say I haven't listened a lot to this band before. It's Of Monsters and Men. And the song that I heard, fantastic song if you can get behind your folksy music, is Dirty Paws. So I'm going to put that link down below so you can see Dirty Paws. Check it out on YouTube or whatever. And the word that I'm going to go with today for Japanese is going to be, let's go with a funny word, banana. This will show you how easy learning Japanese is. This is how you say banana in Japanese. Banana. Surprise. It's the same word. Ha. That was an easy one today. Alright. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this little blip of the culture shock going to the movie theater. As I say, thanks for tripping with Dave. And until next time, world, ciao for now.